Let's take a look at our weather. We are cloudy right now, but no chance of rain as we are about 9 minutes away from going green here at Texas Motor Speedway. There's the temperature, 64 degrees. I got to tell you, we saw the sun earlier today, and all of us felt like we were Punxsutawney Phil because we hadn't seen our shadow in days. But it is finally here, and we are getting ready to go racing after a long delay. Glad you stuck it out with us. Welcome topside, along with Rusty Wallace and Andy Petrie. I'm Marty Reed, and let's talk a little bit about this racetrack because we saw some interesting things happen, as they always do here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Oh yeah, this is a fast racetrack now. Speed's almost 200 miles per hour getting that corner, but some of the key parts in this racetrack are exiting the corners, entering the corners, things like that. So let's take a lap around. Let's talk about it. Here's Justin Allgaier coming down the front straightaway right now, getting ready to haul off down in turn 1. At this particular corner, you want to keep the car right on the bottom of the racetrack. That's the fastest way around. But the corner I'm most concerned about is right there. The exit of turn 2, Andy, it really falls off big time there. That could cause these guys to crash.
Yeah, that's one of the places you've got to have the car exactly right so the driver can get off that corner with a lot of speed. And then you need to have it where you can arc it in the corner, just like you see this 12 car, and get it right on the bottom of the racetrack to get off the corner good.
Yeah, I like that momentum he's got in the top side of the track. You see that a lot. Hey, that's a lap around Texas.
So as we come back here, let's talk about the 15 guys that are doing double duty. To put this in perspective for you, they're going to go a total of 801 miles if they ran every single lap of both races. If you live in Charlotte, that's going to be like you're driving to, let's say, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. If you live in Dallas, it's like taking a trip one way to Atlanta. And if you're in LA, well, let's get in the car and take a ride down to El Paso, Texas. And that gives you an idea just how many miles these guys are going to be putting on. Who has the advantage? Who's the disadvantage?
Well, I think maybe the little bit of a disadvantage might be the guys that ran the Cup race. They're kind of really wore out a little bit. But, you know, the advantage to that is, though, the guys that are in good physical condition have really learned a lot about what the track's going to do, where to run on the track. Andy, bottom, middle, top. They've probably learned a lot out there.
Yeah, and although they haven't been on the track in over like 2 days, they did get an ample amount of practice here on Thursday and Friday. So they're going to know a little bit about their car. The track is not green, and those other drivers that didn't get the advantage of running the race today are all rested up. They've been sitting around their motorhomes, hotel rooms, watching the Cup race. They're ready to go, man. They've been sitting a long time.
The big question, we got about 20 seconds. Does Kyle Busch get the drive for 5 and get his 5th in a row?
Well, he's got a good shot at getting this thing. I mean, he's fast right here. He's got a good qualifying position. It could happen.
And there's some fast cars that don't want him to win it.
Well, let's go trackside and get this race underway here at Texas Motor Speedway, as it's time to bring 43 engines to life.
And now, race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome your Grand Marshal, the owner of Affordable Automotive, Edmund Hardaways.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Crank them up, gang. Fire and hope. How about you can fire it up? Caution level, lap 25. And the rear, Robert. Do we want to run the right rear bead the whole time, or do we want to just use that as a tool? We're good. We're up and running here. 10-4. Longer than we have to here. All right, guys, let's be ready here today. We know how to do this on pit road.
You heard one of the crew chiefs talking about the mandatory caution. That will happen at lap 25, and that's because of the 2 days that we've been waiting to get back on this racetrack. That is our in-race reporter. He'll start second. It's Clint Moore, and we'll talk to him when we come back here at Texas Motor Speedway. Well, it seems like last week, in fact, it was last week when we had pole qualifying. This is Joey Logano with his 10th career pole. His first here at Texas Motor Speedway. He ran a 29.08 second lap at 185 and change. And it's the 4th pole for Joe Gibbs Racing here at Texas Motor Speedway. So the cars now rolling off behind the Camaro pace car here at the mile-and-a-half oval. As you see the starting lineup, that number 2 spot has won 4 of the 6 races. So Clint Boyer may be the odds-on favorite. One car going to the rear, that's Greg Biffle. Remember, he had the minor incident that bent up the car. They had to go to the rear for those unapproved adjustments. Those racers that went home included Josh Wise, Derek Cope, Morgan Shepherd, and Jason Keller. Time for us now to talk to our in-race reporter, and it is the driver of the 21 Zaxby's Chevrolet.
Hey, Clint, Rusty Wallace, ESPN. You got us?
Got you, Russ.
Well, buddy, you just finished almost 500 miles about an hour ago, but you got in a wreck. Any ill effects as you get ready to run another 300 miles?
Part of it. You know, Mother Nature didn't cooperate the best with us this weekend, but, you know, hats off to all these fans. How about it just looking over here and seeing all the fans still here on a Monday night having fun with us in Texas, so that's pretty cool.
All right, buddy, we got an ESPN mailbag question, and it comes from Monica in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. The question is, how hard is it to jump from a Cup car to a Nationwide car after being away for quite some time?
You know, I mean, the cars do handle quite a bit different, especially as we learn more about those Cup cars. You know, it makes it a little bit difficult. These things they're pretty snappy, not a lot of throttle response on them, so you can't get away with this quite as much, you know, driving a car loose like you can a Cup car. But we got the hang of it pretty good. The good news is the Zaxby Chevrolet was pretty fast, and we're starting up front.
All right, buddy, thanks for talking to us. Now, Andy's going to talk to your spotter, Mike Dillon.
Hello, Mike Dillon. Do you have us down here actually in the booth? Mike Dillon, Andy Petrie here. Do you have us down here in the booth?
Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Mike, Spotter's got a lot of duties up there on that roof, not just trying to keep the driver out of trouble. Tell us about what the duties really are. What is your role as a spotter?
Well, just keep the driver calm and keep him focused on, you know, hitting his marks. If I can see where other guys are outrunning us, kind of give him a little heads up there, and then he can try it if he wants to. But main thing is just keeping his blind spots clear for him.
You're supposed to tell me where you go on a wreck, too.
Yeah, that was my next question, Clint. I was going to say, what was he doing during that Cup race when you got in that wreck? All kidding aside, what happened in that Cup race?
Well, I went to the bathroom at that point in time, but no, it just there was a big hole up through there, and I thought we could go high, and we went high, and they closed it up on us. So it was the guy's wrecking fault.
Okay, guys. Y'all keep him out of trouble, Mike. Y'all have good luck today. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks a lot, Andy.
Oh, great stuff. As Clint Boyer will be one of our onboard cameras. Let's give you the list as we've got Landon Castle with the Nationwide Insurance on board, Justin Allgaier with the Verizon Wireless, Kevin Harvick with the Rheem tankless water heaters, and Carl Edwards with the Ford onboard camera, Brendan Gaughan with the Toyota, Stephen Wallace with 5-Hour Energy, and Jamie McMurray with the Hellman's onboard camera system. Our over-the-wall reporter is going to be John Busolo. He's the front tire carrier for the number 24 of Eric McClure, and he's one of the few that got to sleep in his own bed. He lives 15 miles away from here in Denton, Texas, and boy, are we all jealous about that. Time enough now to get the final updates from pit road, and Dr. Jerry Punch, you're up first.
Thank you, Marty. You know, with a list of worries, concerns, and unknowns, the long one for folks down here on the pit box today, because remember, these cars have not been on the racetrack for 72 hours, over 3 days, and with all the moisture in the air, although they were covered up, could the electronics be a problem? How about this racetrack? It just ran 500 miles for the Cup cars. What kind of grip level is there? Remember, these guys have never run this setup of Goodyear tire here. How's it going to react on a Monday afternoon? And if you're one of the 15 crew chiefs like Jason Ratcliffe, whose driver Kyle Busch just ran 500 miles, how physically and mentally prepared is he to go 300 more? Jamie.
Well, Doc, as you mentioned, there's 15 double-duty drivers. Well, there's many more double-duty crew members. Now, most of Brad Keselowski, Greg Biffle, and Kevin Harvick's crew guys worked the Cup race earlier. So by the end of today's race, they will have done 10 to 13 pit stops. But I talked to Ernie Cope, crew chief for Kevin Harvick. He said this could be a benefit for them. He said our first pit stop in the Nationwide race is always the worst. These guys are warmed up and they're ready to go. Vince Welch.
Well, the last time NASCAR ran complete Sprint Cup and Nationwide races on the same day, you've got to go back to 2008 at Richmond. The second race of that day, the Nationwide event, was won by Carl Edwards. Fast forward to today and this season in the Nationwide Series, and when you look on paper at this season that Edwards has, it looks fantastic. His average finish is 4.2, but this team is far from satisfied because it's yet to challenge for victory. Crew Chief Drew Blickensderfer says the car's balance has been good, but the raw speed is lacking. The Roush teams are gaining on that issue. However, the 60 team believes victory is just around the corner, and maybe the doubleheader is just what Carl Edwards needs. Dave Burns.
Vince, Joey Logano has had a busy weekend, starting on Thursday, of course, with Nationwide Series practice when he found out his car was pretty good. But immediately following that, he went to Victory Lane to attend the wedding of a GameStop executive. There he was the honorary best man. Then he won the pole, staying in Victory Lane, for the qualifying for today. And then he raced in the Cup race just a little while ago and got in this accident, which relegated him to a 28th place finish. Marty, I guess on the bright side, he finished 5 laps down, so he's about 7 miles fresher.